flex, flex. The live is more than the six. Fit the runner, boy, you nigga, no question. You will run a motherfucker high stepping. Hey, you never had a big enough weapon. Motherfucker never learned your lesson. I'm a 88 pack nigga, woof. I'm a 88 pack nigga, woof. I mean, day walker, drink blood, fangs out, full moon, motherfucker, change like a hoe, nigga. I'm just a nigga from the hood, tryna stack a little cheddar for the money.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Lightweight. Lightweight, baby. It's time to bleed. Drew Titan Bronx on deck. Shout out to the mighty LDBC. Absolutely. Let's do this roll call. Anwar Willis, G. McCall, Shogun, Michael Fleming, Columbia, Mark Wunderlich, One Deep, Jalen Hudson, Del Riv, Dal Anderson, Black Jericho, Andrew Gray. Listen, smash the like button. Take a moment to share the video. All right? Hype the video. We are our own algorithm. I repeat, we are our own algorithm. Let's not leave it up to Miguel and Jerome to do anything for us. They're too busy spooning. So, let's jump right into it, man. You know, my memes tell stories. HMC, salute. My memes tell stories. They all mean something. Some of you might not get it. Some of you will. Well, some of you do, but, you know, I'm going to tell this story. Well, I'm going to let the parties involved tell the story on the left side. On the left side, that is Michael Knight himself. You young cats. Who the hell is Michael Knight? That's David Hasselhoff. Y'all may have known him, you know, later in life. He was a lifeguard on a show called Baywatch, show that made Pamela Anderson very popular. But if you're my age or older, you knew him as Michael Knight from Knight Rider. Classic TV series. Dion, what up? And 80s, man. 80s was lit for shows like that. Knight Rider was everything. As a kid, Knight Rider, a talking car. Come on, man. That moved at the speed of sound, and I mean, it was a black version of the Mach 5. What's the Mach 5, Drew? Shut up. All right, just shut up. I ain't got time to explain life to you. Everybody wanted Kit. Everybody wanted a Trans Am. With that red light in the front, that was awesome, man. So that was David Hasselhoff. Messenger, salute. And he got a second bite at the apple at Baywatch. Right? He was doing pretty well for himself. He also played Nick Fury in a Marvel movie. It was an off-brand Marvel movie. Well, it wasn't off-brand, but he was definitely Nick Fury. And Dolph Lundgren was definitely the first Punisher on film. We don't need to see them in the multiverse, though. We really don't. We don't need to see that. We don't need to see that. But David Hasselhoff is a very accomplished actor. Rod Neal, salute. But he was also, to my surprise, he was a singer. Didn't really do much in America, but he had a hit single in Germany. Bob, Mac of the South, salute. He had a hit single in Germany. And you might be wondering why I got a picture of OJ there. Well, I'm gonna let David Hasselhoff tell the story. I'm gonna let him tell the story. I'm gonna let you hear the audio. This is coming from another podcast, but this is David Hasselhoff telling his story. So I need you youngsters to pay attention.
I heard you have a pretty funny story about OJ, Donald Trump, and pay-per-view.
All in the same story?
Yeah,
I was there.
How do you were there,
I
David?
was there. Yeah.
You were there.
I
All
was
together?
there, yeah.
Oh my God.
It's
How old were you?
It's Atlantic City, the pay-per-view.
1993. So how
Yeah.
old were you then?
I would have been 20.
Was your mom there and your dad?
Yeah. Yeah,
What
we were all
happened?
there.
We did I had a #1 single in Germany called Looking for Freedom, and then Berlin Wall came down and I sang.
The Berlin Wall, y'all remember that? Von D, what up? Shogun. Yeah, you remember the Berlin Wall? You remember when that came down? That was a big deal, the Berlin Wall? Yeah. Yeah, so keep listening.
On the wall, and I've done a special recently. I went behind the wall. I interviewed all the people that escaped. It was really amazing.
Yeah.
Special. It's on National Geographic if you want to see it. It tells you really what really happened. It's like Bridge of Spies. And then we decided to bring the show to America. And so Donald Trump said, hey, why don't you do it at the Taj and sing with Marla Maples?
Oh, wow. Okay.
So that's who he was with at the
So I
time,
was
right?
just singing, if I were a carpenter and I was a lady, would you marry me anyway? I would have your baby. And so then she comes over and she goes, well, you know, Donald is a little jealous. And I went, he is. Well, 'cause I'm married. What do you know? And she says, okay. So we did the show and spent about $400,000 mounting this show. And at the exact same time the show was going out on a pay-per-view, David Hasselhoff's first concert ever in America, O.J. Simpson was going down the freeway.
Oh, my God.
In a white Bronco. So I walk back into the dressing room and there's Donald Trump. He says, well, there's your buddy. And I said, what? He said, OJ. Yeah, he's escaping. He's on a white Bronco. That's him. I said, oh, tell me that's not live. He goes,
Oh, yeah.
it's live. I said, it's live. And I said, no one's going to watch the pay-per-view. So 90 million people saw OJ and 3 of us watched the pay-per-view.
That's kind of pretty before it gets started. Oh, Froggy when Horton, he did ride Crambo. Froggy when Horton, he did ride Crambo.
What?
So he trumped you guys.
I paid and nobody viewed.
Oh, man.
I'm still wondering to this day if O.J. Simpson, wherever he is,
He's in prison.
yeah,
Nah, he's dead.
realize that he trumped Hasselhoff.
Aw.
You hate him now, don't you?
No, stop it.
Well, I mean, for that and for murdering people.
Yeah.
I hate him for murdering people.
Yeah.
Oh, let's just.
I mean,
Well, oh, now why is that funny? You can laugh about it now, but that was what, $400K of their money down the toilet, because nobody, that whatever show was airing at that moment, OJ was on everywhere. The Bronco chase was even on PBS out here, Channel 13. Everybody was airing that. That was the biggest news in the world. It was in China, Japan. It was everywhere. It was everywhere. Todd Friend in the super chat, he said, I was in the Army when that happened. Bro, everyone remembers where they were and what they were doing when that Bronco truck happened. It was everywhere. It was breaking news. It was crazy work. What I didn't know was that they threw a whole pay-per-view and it was live. And he was like 3 people watching pay-per-view. Everyone else, 90 million people were watching OJ. They didn't even make a return on their investment. You see, Trump hates OJ because of that. Oh, man, that's funny as hell. That is funny as hell. Now, you might be looking at the meme like, well, what the fudge does that have to do with boxing? Well, let me tie this together. Morning, Tay-Tay. Let me tie this together. Right now, the boxing world should be talking about Teofimo Lopez and Shakur. A lot of people got Teofimo winning this fight. It's boxing, y'all. It's boxing. Anything can happen. Will this be Shakur's toughest test? Or will T.O. get smoked? Because I remember when Oscar Valdez was supposed to be the one. It wasn't even close. Are we going to get that? And you know what? Let me go on record saying this. I hope it's that. I don't want T.O. to even be, I don't even want this to be competitive. I want Shakur to smoke T.O. I don't like T.O. As a person. I can't stand him. He's a liar. He's a racist. He's a POS. Yeah. I want Shakur to smoke him. But will he smoke him? Don't know. That's what makes this fight intriguing. What I want might not be what I get. But if it's a good fight, I'll just say, it's a BS aside, my personal feelings towards T.O. is a great fight. What if T.O. wins? This is the intrigue that we want in boxing, right? Todd French in that super chat salute. He says, I was in the field on a firing point in Bragg. Word. I'm telling you, everyone can remember when this crap happened. This is crazy. Yep. So we're gonna see. But here come Tank with the U.S. Marshals news. You get the connection now? You get the connection? You understand? Even when this jerk is not in the ring, the fanatics hijack boxing with foolishness. The fanatics hijack boxing with foolishness. The card at MSG is actually not too bad. And this is why I need Tank to go away. Because at this current junction, I'm going to go with Romelo, salute. I'm going to go with Tank's never fighting again. I'm going to go with that. Until I'm seen otherwise, he's never fighting again. And if he does, he won't be fighting on a serious competitive level. Because I really believe salute Shelton, the International Quiet Storm, salute. D4L, salute. If I miss you in the chat, know that I love you. I really believe that they're gonna, when they find him, they're gonna hit him in the head with the hammer. They ain't playing with this kid, and I really think they're gonna there ain't gonna be no deals. You know, I was listening to the brother BFTB yesterday, and the people that, you know, came on the panel. One brother had experience, well, both of those brothers had experience with the U.S. Marshals. What they failed to realize is every case is unique in itself. EMT, salute. Every case is unique. Philip D in the building. Every case is unique. Not every case is the same. You can have two people to do the exact same crime. And one person will get a certain amount of time and the other person will get a certain amount of time. Usually, as soon as I said that, automatically, what are we thinking? Race. Race. This white kid did the same crime. He robbed a liquor store. The black kid did that. The white kid had priors. He got 12 months probation because he was on meth. The black kid was a broke college student and needed money for books or whatever, and no priors, and he gets 2 years. So race does play an important factor in it. Also, priors play an important factor in it. Also, it depends on how nice your lawyer is. Hell, your lawyer might not even have to be nice. He might know the judge, or his uncle know the judge, or they might be Masons. You don't know. Yeah, Eastern Stars. You don't know. So when I heard the brothers talking about, oh, well, the marshals came looking for me and they didn't add this, your case is not everyone else's case. And at this current junction, what does Tank have working against him? First of all, he's black. I don't care how yellow and how slant his eyes are. I don't care how cute you think he is. He's black. Second of all, he's a millionaire. OJ was an anomaly. Everyone just knew he was going down. That's why everyone was shocked and celebrating when he didn't get hit with those charges. But white America was pissed off at that. They was like, no, we don't care if he's OJ. He's supposed to be, damn near hanging from a tree. But a high-tech lynching. I bet you I don't know where that phrase came from. This is a high-tech lynching. And it didn't happen. For the first time in history, this didn't happen. But I'm telling you, from that, the judicial system said, we ain't letting another nigga get away again. No, sir. When we catch the next $1 million nigga, we throwing a book at him as hard as we can. Michael Vick. It was dogs. And upon further investigation, it really wasn't him. It was the people around him, if I remember the story correctly, but that's neither here nor there. You had these people rolling in the street. Take his money. He should never play football again. Shut up, man. It's dogs. You had a whole rapist over there in Pittsburgh playing for the Steelers. Y'all wasn't rolling in the street. The sisterhood wasn't even rolling in the street talking about take his money, lock him up. He should never play ball again. The white chicks are on code. We got a president right now. Who was directly involved with this clown that offed himself, allegedly, human trafficking, grab him by the boodissy, Epstein files, and he's in the White House. And white women voted for him. Where was the sisterhood then? This is America, y'all. So when I see you brothers up here talking, and you know what's crazy? The motherfuckers with the loudest mouths and deepest opinions about what's gonna happen with Tank, all y'all niggas got criminal records. So far. Todd Fresh, salute to you in that super chat. He says, everything I learned with my criminal justice degree would suggest that Tank will be in the tank. The sentencing laws are brutal against black men. Shaking my head. Yes. Yes. I will be shocked if when he's brought to justice, because now we're on day, 6? The longer you stay away, the worse it's going to be. And that's what the brothers on BF's panel, I don't think they understood that. And I'm saying this respectfully. The difference was they're not rock stars like Tank is. You see how this comes back? Tank a star. Tank the pay-per-view king. Tank the face of boxing. Well, this is what the face is doing. the longer he stays away, the worse it's going to be. And OJ made the block hot for every black athlete moving forward. And that's what these young folk that were born in 2000, that they know about the OJ shit. They've seen pictures and, you know, they got a short attention span. They might have seen a short video, a 60-second video about the OJ trial on YouTube, and they think they know everything. No, they know nothing about the climate of the country. They know nothing about the atmosphere of what we had to deal with. They don't know why exactly. I know black people that say, yo, I think he did it, but I'm glad he got away with it. I'm like, oh, snap. Because of the principle. You think these kids sat down for 2 seconds to understand, but they'll tell you everything about it, but they didn't live it. It's just it's the same thing. I'm gonna say this, and I'm not gonna entertain it. The Jordan and LeBron GOAT debate, it's not even close. It's Jordan all day. LeBron can take a back seat. I'm not having this debate. I'm just making a point. But you talk to anybody that was born in 2000 that didn't start watching basketball until like with a critical eye, where they could understand stats and how the eras are different. Some of them will pick LeBron. And it's like, what are you doing? And they start talking about moves and the paint and like, what? Wait, hold on. Wait a minute. What are you talking about? You've seen highlights on Instagram right now. There's some wacky sounding kid that sound like he got marbles in his mouth. It's always them. Yo, y'all call Jordan the GOAT, man. Look at this dude. He's playing a clip from when Jordan was on the Wizards. And he fused together some turnovers and some missed shots. A 40-year-old Michael Jordan, whom I might add was an all-star that year, and he helped the Wizards get to the playoffs. I looked at that and I saw Devin and Tank sparring footage that was altered. And I'm like, man, you motherfuckers had to do that to make Mike look bad? And that failed. Because I'm reading the comment section, they was like, yo, this dude is an idiot because the highlights, the bad highlight, the low lights that he fused together, he said 8 of those games, the Wizards won. Idiot. Now, I didn't go that deep. The dude in the chat was killing him. He said, you fool. 8 of those games that you got the clips from, they won those games. It's bad. It's bad. I rock my brother. Salute. It's bad. It's bad. No Delano. You see, and I'm going to get off of this because I'm going to get back to boxing. That's wrong because I saw 78. Salute. I saw an interview where Hakeem Olajuwon said if Mike didn't retire, he might have had 8 rings. Hakeem said that. So I don't know, brother. Am I going to listen to you or Hakeem the Dream? You see how that works? Find me a Hall of Fame player that's picking LeBron over Jordan, and we can have a conversation. We'll talk about it. But anyway, let me get back. Boxing, please. It's not even close. But this is the price you pay for being a rock star. OJ made the block hot for every black athlete, no matter what football. I don't care if you're a black athlete in Calgary playing for the Flames in the NHL. They're watching you. And the system have a pact. They said, we cannot let this happen again. When we got a nigga, we got to fry him. OJ made the block hot moving forward for all you black athletes. Kobe Bryant. You remember when that dude put out that book about Michael Jordan having a gambling problem? Allegedly. Wasn't no goddamn gambling problem. And that book came out when they were in the playoffs. Who remembers that? I think that was 93. Ratchet, what up, brother? I think that was 93. His white friend put out a whole book about Jordan's gambling problem. He don't even have a problem. True Boxing Night, salute. He don't have no problem. He's competitive. A problem is when you make $100,000 a year and you gamble away more than half of that. That's a problem. He ain't got no problem. And if that's really your friend, fuck a book. Talk to him about it. Tell him to get some help and keep it to yourself. We're trying to watch the Bulls versus Knicks playoffs, and this nigga, they throwing mics in this cracker face. I'm like, who is that? A book? Why you got a whole book? I said back there, yeah, Mike, yeah, watch your friends. Watch your friends. 88, what up? Watch your friends. Bastard. See? Tank got to deal with all of that. This OJ shit, it falls on Tank's shoulders. Yeah, you the face of boxing, right? That's Walker, salute. You the face of boxing, right? Okay. Turn your dumb ass in. Now, each case is unique. So I appreciate the brothers I was on the panel with BF, but they were misinformed about a few things. Not every lawyer is the same. Lawyers are supposed to be experts at word salad, but while staying within the confines of the law. Or if they could bend and twist and get their client around certain things, they can do that. You get a nice lawyer, he gets you out of a lot of things. But you can't afford one, and they give you some bullshit public servant that they assign to you, it's over with. You going to jail, you going to jail, you going to jail. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. So this is the face, right? You got your bread. Pay that bread. Get your lawyer up, man. Delano says that's a minimum of 2 years. He'll do some time only because he's on probation. That's not necessarily a fact, Delano. We don't know. Let me explain this to you. He violated his probation. So if you say that's an automatic charge, I don't know what the automatic charge is, but que sera, sera. Let's say there's an automatic charge, like you said, of 2 years. Let's say that. For violating the probation. Boom. Says 24 months, he's out the ring. Now, he gets a judge that's like, yo, I'm tired of this. Look at your rap sheet. And yes, they will factor in the chicks that dropped the charges. You know why? That girl's lawyer is going to say, hey, he has a track record now. They dropped the charges, but he now has a track record. The messenger says, Baby Tyson. K-Rod, salute. Yeah. You think when they finally banged the gavel on him, because you know what people thought? They said, no, she lying. He going to walk. You know why they banged the gavel on Mike? He had a track record. He didn't get arrested for anything, but he didn't get arrested for everything, but he had a reputation. So they factored in his reputation, is what I'm telling you. Even the girls that said, we ain't going to press no charges, I just don't want to deal with him no more. He has a reputation now. And a judge might say, hey, you know what, for the greater good, you know, you're not learning anything. You was on probation for the hit and run. The deal was for you to stay out of trouble. And you know what else they're going to do? What did I tell y'all about those tweets? I'm talking about a reputation now, right? What did I tell you? When you get locked up, don't they say anything you say can and what will be held against you in the court of law? Didn't I tell you that? I said that, right? Talk to me about those tweets that he sent to Lamont Roach about them going to visit that house or something that he has at House on the Hill or something that he said. Talk to me about when he told Shorty, shut up, or somebody online, shut up or your daughter might be next. Y'all remember that? All of these tweets that he deleted, that people screenshot, all of that's going to come up. All of it. So it's like, okay, yeah, you're gonna get 24 months. Hey, Tank, you're only gonna do half of that. You'll be out in 6. They're gonna say, hold on now. Look at the track record. He doesn't respect the law. Because the law keeps letting him run amok. That's what they're gonna say. He's a danger to society. We had to find him. We're on day 6 now, y'all. We had to go find his dumb ass. See, he doesn't respect the law. He don't respect women. This man's sick. And the judge that gave him probation already doesn't like him. Now, the brothers I was on BF's panel last night, they're not millionaires, to my knowledge. They're not millionaires. Even if they are, they're not mega rock stars. And I'm saying this respectfully, because I don't know the brothers. Their situation, because I think the first brother said he did a decade in the system. If y'all heard it last night, and I'm listening, he did a decade. Now, I don't know what he did to get a decade. A decade is 10 years for you young people that don't know. A decade is 10 years. So he did something fucked up. Other thing he said was, when BF read the law, I was in the chat like, okay, was that law amended? Because dude said I think he said the marshals came to get him. And did he say, I got to go back and listen to it, but did he say he was on a run for a certain amount of time? And then when they got him and brought him in, they disregarded him being on a run? Well, that's a unique situation to him. Because whatever he did, he was already getting a decade. Or they probably threw an extra year to make it a decade on that. You'd have got less time. 88 says 3 to 4 months. Okay, but you'd have got less time if you wasn't on the run, is what I'm saying. Maybe that's why you got a decade. Maybe it'd have been 8 years. Maybe it'd have been 6. But the fact that they had to find you, depending on the crime, maybe they threw that in there. What I'm saying is running doesn't help. Running doesn't help. 3 months he said he was on the run for? Question, did he say he knew there was the fact that the U.S. Marshals, because some cats just think the regular law in their town's looking for them. And back in the day, there was no social media, nothing like that. This is where social media backfires on you. Back in the day, there was no social media, and you're like, oh shit, the U.S. Marshals looking for me? I just thought it was Sheriff Hogg, Boss Hogg, up the block. I just stayed out his way. I was at my girl house the whole time. I was just off the street hoping this shit will go away. I didn't know the U.S. Marshals was looking for me. Well, ignorance is not an excuse, right? But he said he was on the run, so he knew the U.S. Marshals was looking for him. He was on the run for 3 to 4 months. Don't tell me you was on the run for 3 to 4 months and they disregarded that and just gave you a decade because of something that you did. I don't believe that. He'd have to prove that to me. I'd have to see the paperwork. I don't believe that. I'm sure for the amount of manpower it took for them to look for him and finally catch him, he had to pay for that in the form of what? Time. I don't believe that. But even, let's say it was 10 straight minus the U.S. Marshals' time and efforts. Your lawyer had to make a deal. All right, he's already getting 10 years. I don't know. It's his first offense. I don't know what his deal was. He didn't get in specifics. Maybe the lawyer said, look, he's getting 10. You'll give him a break. And the lawyer said, the judge said, okay, fine. He's already getting a decade. But that situation is unique to him. The other brother that pulled up, same thing. His situation is different from the other brother's situation. And both of their situations is different from Tank Davis. Tank Davis is a world-known athlete. And the unspoken rule OJ made the block hot for every black athlete moving forward. Y'all have no idea that how pivotal that OJ Simpson trial was. And white America won't speak it, and they won't speak out on it. They'll just say, oh, the judicial system failed. Oh my God, he's a murderer. They'll never say how they can't stand Judge Lance Ito behind that. And they made a racial, they were making racial jokes about him too. Lance Ito's, I think is a Japanese American, he was a judge. He was the judge, Lance Ito. They were attacking him racially everywhere. Stormy, salute. PGA, salute. They were attacking him all over the place. It was crazy. I'm like, damn. They were saying he banged the gavel in OJ's favor because every time they turned on the radio, they were clowning him. That whole OJ trial made the block hot. The whole thing. Anthony, what up? And this is what Tank is dealing with right now. So now, all this idiot needs to do is turn himself in. Because what we're supposed to be talking about is this card that's damn near in about 10 days. And the card is pretty good. Card is pretty good. Shout out to Tay Jones. He just broke the news yesterday. He said that Deontay Wilder will be facing Derek Chisora in April. We need to be talking about that. You see why I said Tank fanatics are dangerous? Whole channels made for Tank. Well, he's obviously not boxing. And if Delano's right, if he's right, and it's an automatic 2 years, do y'all understand that's 2 years this kid's not going to be in the ring? Boxing needs to move on away from this dude because he's a distraction. Like how OJ's Bronco car chase was a distraction. It distracted 90 million eyes from at least, I don't care if it was 10 million that would have saw David Hasselhoff's concert that was pay-per-view. Fucked him up. And that was just luck of the draw. He was like, I don't believe this. This couldn't happen yesterday. This couldn't wait till tomorrow. No. Totally accidental. Exactly, Mark. If he gets 2 years, he's done. But you know what? We don't know how much time he's going to get. We don't know how much time he's going to get for just running from the U.S. Marshals. It could be 30 days. It could be 2 weeks. We don't know. If Tank's lawyer's nice with it, he can go to the judge and say, all right, man, he's getting some time because that U.S. Marshal shit, could you knock that in half or you make that go away? And at the rate he's going, the dude got 3 mugshots, man. I was reading some silly things in BF's chat yesterday from these fanatics. Cats is really talking about he's not guilty of anything. I was reading that. What do you mean? Of course he's guilty. He's on probation. Are y'all retarded? He's on probation right now. What was his probation? Like 3 years? And he can't get that right. And y'all root for this guy? Listen, all I could say, Troll Slayer salute, all I could say is, I don't want to see no black man in jail. But at the same time, every black man in prison ain't Nelson Mandela. In other words, some of you niggas need to be there. Because I don't want you around me in real life. You fucking losers. See how that works? Thank you, Mark. You don't get probation if you're innocent. Now, if y'all want to play the game, I ain't do it. He ain't do it. You could look. That's your opinion. We're talking about the facts. Yo, Tank really beat Lamont Roach. No, I feel otherwise. I think Roach really beat Tank. But what does it say on BoxRec? Unfortunately for the both of us, regardless of how we feel, the fact is they fought to a draw. And that's the problem with a lot of you pillow biters. You sound like girls. Listen to how these women answer questions on these panels. You ask them a direct question. What do they say before they respond? Well, I feel, shut up. Forget your feelings. Let's stick to the facts. And they can have data and statistics all in their face. They will always go with the feelings. And what do we know about feelings? Feelings get you in trouble. I just put up a new Patreon last night. I gave 3 examples of how my feelings got me in trouble, could have gotten me killed. In the 4th example, a guy that I knew got killed because he went with his feelings. A bunch of single mothers running around the country right now, mad at men. But you 2 kids up with 2 different dudes. That feeling of quenching your thirst of sexual gratification was a result of you being a single mother. You went with that feeling. But you knew he was no good. Your friends told you he was no good. Your mama told you he was no good. But all of them were haters. And you needed those moments of sexual gratification, and he knocked your spine out of alignment. He didn't conform to what you wanted him to be. And now you're mad at all men because you're a single mom. How's that feeling working out for you? All of you tankaholics, y'all love y'all some Tank. And you will defend Tank against all terrorists, foreign and domestic. Call us terrorists. I didn't know being a terrorist is asking him to fight his contemporaries. I didn't know. How the hell did we get there? What the hell was that? What was that? And y'all done justified him and justified him and justified him. You know what's happening now? You know what's about to happen? When they catch this dude, and I'm speaking that into existence because I don't want them to track him down and shoot him. I already said that. But when they find this dude and bring him in, and he has his day in court, I mean, people said a lot of silly shit. You don't know if he's guilty. Some nigga in the chat said he's building his case. You don't build your case by running from the law. I mean, I was reading things like that. If you want to see how ignorant Tank Davis fans are, look no further than the comment section. Look no further than the goddamn comment section. AJ fans weren't this homosexual. They were gay, but not on this level. Pactards weren't this bad. Flomos weren't this bad. American Fury fans weren't this bad. This is bad. This is bad. This nigga in the chat really said he's building his case. On the run? You're making it worse. I said it yesterday morning. BF reiterated it last night, and I'm going to say it again. This greedy, selfish bastard's not even factoring in his babies. Y'all never thought about that because y'all are thinking about him and his light skin and his chrome hearts and braided hair. Y'all don't even think about his children. Didn't I say yesterday morning, who's watching his babies? The mothers right now, if they have, they gotta have custody. You know what they're saying right now? You see? This is why we don't want this nigga around us. You see? He's being selfish. You understand? Not one tanker maniac said anything about those kids. I did. BF did last night. Shabazz, salute. And when they bring this dude in, you know what the next month is going to be? Those channels talking about how we're happy a black man's getting locked up. That's what it's going to be. And we're going to be the villains. We're going to be the sellouts. But wait a minute. Y'all talking about Free Tank, and he is a criminal. Y'all are still blaming the victim. Y'all do understand that woman at the bottle girl, she's the victim. Y'all understand that, right? Y'all understand that they said she made a complaint. We knew about the complaint. They viewed the evidence and said, yeah, what she said checks out. And you niggas are still riding with this dude? When are y'all gonna stop? The answer is never. Because y'all on here trying to win an internet argument, but you know what? It's a direct reflection of who you are as a grown man. How many female Tank fans are still sticking up for him? I'm just curious. You remember that shorty over the summer that tried to debate Champ's side? It was the funniest goddamn thing in the world. She pulled up on him with no facts. Somebody went and got her because she goes on all these Tank channels and she argues speculation. And by the way, I can't deal with people like that. I'm not going to have a panel arguing over speculation. Give me the facts and let's deal with the facts. Y'all remember that chick? And he asked her, he said, wait, someone called you, told you to pull up on me just to argue with me. I'm giving you facts. You know that, you remember when that chick said, oh, you always have facts when you arguing with somebody? Yeah. See, women are wired different. I was watching an episode of Kevin Samuels a few years ago. And you know how The Godfather was. Facts, data, statistics. Woman gets on the panel and she start talking. And he said, that's not right because according to this, it's this number and that and this number. And she says, well, how do you know that? He said, I just told you. And she basically said the same thing. I don't remember word for word, but she says, well, I mean, I'm just here to have a conversation. He said, well, how do you have a conversation without the evidence to support what you're saying? Wow, it's a pointless argument. As a man, we're not supposed to be having those. Unless it's like a plane crash, for example, and until they cover the black box, we get on here and say, oh man, God bless all of those people, but what went wrong? And I have a panel, bunch of people who are aeronautics, I think that's the term. Correct me if I'm wrong. Coach, what up, coach? And I have a panel of people. I know New Fat Boy Fitness, he works with airplanes, and I have him on here. And a couple of other people, I used to fly planes, whatever, and I'll ask them, yo, what do you think could have went wrong? What was the weather like? And I have to listen to them, but I'm not going to argue with them because I don't know shit about that. I'm going to listen to the people that are going to speculate. Well, what could have happened? Well, what happened? It was landing and it happened? Or oh, man, well, you know, and we're just speculating. We don't know for sure. Aaron, salute. What we do know for sure is that this little yellow nigga did it. They saw the evidence. They say, yo, we have enough evidence to execute a warrant for his arrest. And they can't find him. And they said, look, we got to call the marshals in because we can't find this dude. Plus, he's on probation. And then they go to his lawyers, say, yo, man, you know, have you spoken to him? No comment. Because you know what? They have an obligation. If they spoke to him, they have to tell the law, yo, he just called us. Where was he? Because the lawyer's going to ask, Javonta, you see the news? Where are you? You got to turn yourself in. I'll meet you at the precinct. They went to his lawyer or lawyers and said, yeah, you know, Tank's going through this. Your thoughts? No comment. That means he hasn't spoken to them. And what the fuck can they do for him? He's supposed to be building his case. Somebody wrote that in BF's chat yesterday. He's supposed to be building his case, but they can't help him if he's on the run. This is the silliest shit I've ever seen. All of this, and we got a fire card on the 31st. I need Tank fanatics. I need y'all to go away. I need Tank to go away. That was the, you know, regardless, I didn't like the Jake Paul fight, but the idea was he was going to get his payday and leave the sport. Jerks like Victor and Fag7 and all these other niggas, they had it in their mind that he was going to fight and get his 40 mil, so leave him alone because he's a black man, right? And spin the block and come back and get everybody else, whoever it was. And my only question was, the man said he's leaving the sport in 2025. That's what he said. They said, well, he don't mean it. So I said, oh, so he's a liar. His response, people lie. He's human. That's what he said to me. He's human. I said, is Tank a liar? He said he's human. What the fuck does that mean? Jesus Christ was a human. Is he a liar? Uh-oh. Just stop right there. Just stop right there. Answer the fucking question. I think we got our answers. And you know what? I think Tank is a man of his word. He said he was leaving the sport in 2025. He choked that bitch in October of 2025. At that point, it was over. So Tank technically told the truth, did he not? Did he fight Jake Paul? Did he make 40 mil? No, he's doing the $1 Million Man running. Miss Van Houter, salute to you, Queen. She says, I can say I enjoy Tank fighting the ring, but I don't respect what he does outside of it. He doesn't conduct himself like a professional. And that is completely fair. That's completely fair, Miss Van Houter. And salute to you. Salute to you and your family. That is completely fair. That's completely fair. I don't mind Tank fans saying, hey, I enjoy his work. Two things. I only want him to fight his contemporaries moving forward, right? But if he can't conduct himself like a professional outside the ring, which is hindering his career, then he needs to go away. Freedom's March, my brother, salute. Egalitarian, salute. He needs to go away because his outside antics is affecting his career. And don't look now, he's 30. At this point, he's going to shit away his prime in prison. I'll be shocked if they bang the gavel for a couple of years and he only does 6 months. I'll be shocked. He was in there giving head. They bukkake them in the back. The only way out of this, come into this room. He go into the room and it's the judge's chambers, but hey man, why is there plastic over the desk and the walls? And the assembly line of those crackers walk in with their pants down. Yeah, get down and lick these nuts. Tank, where you at?
Bukkake.
He come out that room looking like a glazed donut. You was looking at 5 years. You only got 6 months.
Bukkake.
You ours, boy. One false move, if you don't do what we say, we're releasing this tape because we got it on video now. You do what we tell you to do.
Bukkake.
And first order of business is when you get in that ring, you fighting Vasily Lomachenko, and he's gonna knock you out. Or you can go sit down for 5 or 6 years. And knowing these kids, they ain't tough mentally, he gonna start ball juggling. I already believe some of these kids are doing that. Drew, that's over the top. No, it's not. Rachel Donaire told me it's amazing what happens when these kids on the undercard start talking when they get a little drink in them. It's amazing what happens. Hey man, how the hell did you get on that pay-per-view? You got 2 fights, 1 KO, 1 draw. How'd you get the opening fight on the pay-per-view? Oh, well, I work hard or whatever. He gets some drinks. Oh man, I had to go to the promoter's room and stop talking. Big Joe Townsend, salute. Anthony, what up? Yep, stop talking. We know. See? Shit like that. Amazing, right? Copper, what up, brother? I'm not making it up. Remember who I talked to. That's all I ever say. Remember who I talked to. But all things considered, Tank is a distraction. I wanted him to fight Jake Paul at that point. And I told y'all I was very skeptical about that fight. If there was a script, which Tank hinted towards, I said, hey man, if I can see Jake Paul going off script and just coughing up 10 milli. I think he'll cough up his whole side of his pay if it meant just defeating a black punching bag. No one's gonna care that he's a heavyweight. No one's gonna care. But that picture of this quote unquote woman beater, because Jake wanted that fight still. It was the women that he promotes that said, I don't want to be on the card with a man that does things like that. They said that. And then Netflix said, nah, we can't put him on there. And that's why he moved on. A picture of Jake Paul standing over a fallen Tank Davis. In 2 decades, they would put that next to the Ali Liston picture when Ali was standing over Sonny Liston. And right now, these kids right now are so stupid and uneducated. They don't know why that's a popular picture. They tried to do it when Vladimir Klitschko got knocked out by Anthony Joshua. They put it on Facebook immediately. They put it in black and white, and it looked dope, him standing over Vladimir. But I said, this doesn't hit the same, bro. They put the picture side to side. I said, don't even do that shit. Y'all don't know exactly what Sonny Liston was. He was the killer. What are you talking about? Ali was supposed to get killed that night. Right? Sounds familiar? You guys are bugging. Y'all can hear me? Press 1 if you can hear me. G. McCall, you can't hear me? Okay. All right. G. McCall, you might have to leave and come back out. Come in and come back out. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. And that's weird because you got a question mark next to on StreamYard. What's that? Whoa, let me take a picture of that. Anytime these fools do something sick that I can't describe, we document. Why? Documentation beats conversation. So when you contact Google, they be like, I don't know what you're talking about. Screenshot. Yeah, explain that. Explain that. Anyway. They're quick to do that. You remember when Tyson Fury was in the corner bobbing and weaving. What did they do? They put it side by side when Ali was doing it. I said, this ain't the same, bro. This is not the same. It's not the same. LeBron Jordan, it's not the same. Fuck those stats to a degree. To a degree. Fuck the stats. To a degree. Stats don't tell the whole tale. Trust me, they don't. And they would have loved to have put a fallen Tank Davis over, standing over him, Jake Paul standing over him with his hands raised. They would have loved to see that. And no matter what the agreement was, it could have been, hey, man, you do anything outside of character of the Tank, you forfeiting your whole purse. I think Jake Paul's pockets are so deep, he didn't give a shit. He was going to try and hurt Tank. And that's why I said, I don't think Tank should give it to him because everyone loves a black punching bag. They love it. Don't give it to him. But Tank was, I'm going to get my 40 million and I'm going to retire Baltimore. Drew, you black, right? Leave him alone. Let the man get his money. Okay, I'd rather him get his money with his contemporaries. Beezy, what up? Sidebar, some kid said, oh, matter of fact, that comedian that just sat down with at Club Shay Shay. He's pretty funny. He said, LeBron is the GOAT. Jordan never had to deal with somebody like Kevin Durant and Steph Curry. And I wrote in the comment section, he is a comedian because this is one of the funniest jokes he ever told. If you watch Steph Curry, you're literally watching a player by the name of Chris Jackson, or I'm sorry, better known as Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf. Please shut up. Don't challenge me on that. These kids don't even know who the fuck that is and why he's important to NBA history. Swept under the rug, but he's very important. Him, Craig Hodges, very important. Just look it up. I'm not giving these kids no goddamn gems because you're fucking stupid. When Steph Curry started to emerge in this game, the first thing I said was, yo, he reminds me of Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf, a.k.a. Chris Jackson. His slave name, as they call it. Slim, what up? They don't know. They don't know. Oh, man, Nate Robinson, best dunk I ever seen. At that height. Spud Webb? Robert Pack? Y'all remember Robert? Stop. Please. Please. Let's not. Boxing, please. Boxing, please. Man, I was talking with Kendall Gill. He told a story about he said anybody that knew Rauf, they were like, he was a prop. They did not like playing him. He was a problem. Yeah, he's a cool guy. You know what was dope about him too? He had Tourette's. He had Tourette's real bad. But he was nice. He had Tourette's. So you see him on the bench just twitching and tweaking. But these young kids don't know. He left his mark on the sport, and he was actually kicked out of the NBA because he did something, which no one knew was even a fucking violation. And that was a whole thing. You kids don't know your fucking history. That's why I don't listen to y'all. Jordan hated guarding smaller point guards anyway. Jordan was a great defender, but those small guys gave him fits. AI bust his ass. Rauf bust his ass. Damon Stoudemire bust his ass. Jordan had a problem defending these small guys. He did. Kevin Johnson. He had a problem defending those guys. Scotty defended them better. Scotty was a better defender than Mike. Man, don't get me started, bro. Let's get back to boxing. Man, I saw Jake Paul doing something so crazy to him, and I'm like, man, he's gonna violate Tank, and it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy. JB, and I see you, brother. And I didn't want that, because there I go being on code again. There I go being on code, because I know what it means. I said, if Tank even gets thrown to the floor and Jake stands over him and raises his arms, even if the fight's a draw, that picture is going to be their epic moment. And I'm not defending him. But lo and behold, he goofed it up and ruined his payday. And I'm still reading these chumps talk about how after all of this, he's still going to fight his contemporaries. I didn't know he'd go on a run from the law like this. I didn't know. I didn't see this coming. I didn't see it. He got in trouble with that girl. I said, man, all right, he's going to sit down in court and we'll have his day. And I really felt, I'm like, okay, I felt, because this has been the rhythm. My feelings are coming off of the rhythm. And I said, man, you know, first thing I said, Chick might be lying. That's the first thing I said. But why is he putting himself in a position to get lied on? That's a problem in itself. I said, Chick might be lying. Then they said, there's video. I said, uh-oh. There's a chance that the video may leak. All Around Strong, my brother, salute. But it never leaked. So I said, all right, well, let's just see what happens here. Then the next thing I know, the police said we have substantial evidence to execute an arrest. And now it's escalated to the point where the U.S. Marshals are looking for this kid. Not a salute. And this is where we at. And I'm still seeing these people pop up, like in BF's chat, and some of them pop up in 78's chat, and they're talking about this is going to be a slap on the wrist. I'll be shocked, and he'll be crazy lucky if it's a slap on the wrist. And let me be clear. I don't want him getting locked up. I want him to continue with his career. And I could just hold on to hope that he'll fight his contemporaries. But he wasn't even trying to do that. He said, well, my knee heals. I didn't know his knee was messed up. When my knee heals, I'm coming back. And I'm going to beat up, drum roll, Isaac Cruz.
What?
Wait a minute. You beat him already. You beat him already. You fought Lamont Roach to a draw. Can you run that back? Oh, I'm sorry. Before you got into trouble and you was about to fight Jake Paul, you started trolling your contemporaries, Shakur and Lamont. I giveth and I taketh away. Remember you said that? He put that in writing. Lamont done moved on. Jake Paul moved on. And by the way, Jake Paul has a better boxing career than Tank Davis does. You know why I say that? With that loss and broken jaw to AJ, you know what he can say? At least I did it. We all knew that this motherfucker had no business in the ring with Anthony Joshua. We all knew that. And the fight ended like we said, if all things fair and no bullshit, AJ should knock this guy out. And he did that. But Jake got in there and paid him almost double the amount of money that he He was supposed to pay Tank, dumbass. Why wasn't that an argument? Hey, man, why Tank was only getting 40, but Anthony Joshua got 93? And even when they taxed his ass, figuratively and rhetorically, he still had $3 million more than the flat rate that Tank was offered. Tell me how he's the face of boxing again. Tell me how that works. AJ been knocked out twice. He's beltless. $93 million. Tank has all these wins, 1 draw, no losses, $40 million. Tell me how he's the face of boxing again. What was up with that? And Jake Paul got in there and lost badly. So what is Tank doing for boxing? I'm not asking what he's doing for his fans, because all he got to do is get up in the morning and take a shower and turn on his Instagram while he's in the shower, washing his body. Mag 7 will be there. Victor, old pedophile that he is, he'll be there. I really think Victor's a pedo. Because I re-listened to when he was on the show defending him yoking up that girl at the basketball game. Did y'all hear that shit? I'm going to re-upload that on my channel if y'all missed it. Victor is 3 years younger than my dad. Fuck are you doing, bro? I meant to ask him, man, do you have a criminal record? Because I noticed when I asked Tank Davis fans, you know, when I'm trying to figure out why are you wired like that? And I get to the part where I say you have a criminal record. The last GTD fan that I had up here was James Franklin. And, you know, the world-class liar that he is. I asked him, I said, hold on, bro, you got a criminal record? And he refused to answer the question. It's just a question. Watch this. Drew, you got a criminal record? No. But what does that have to do with what we're talking about here? You see how that works? All they had to do was say yes or no. But he couldn't lie about it. Because he does. Mag 7, criminal record. James Franklin, criminal record. Willing to bet. Victor. Yeah, Victor Goodnight, I call him.
Good night.
That's dead ass him. That's dead ass him. I went to his channel to see if he was a real person. He was. He's on there singing Luther Vandross. Victor. That's not even Luther Vandross' song. It's Dionne Warwick's song. You're welcome. Good morning, press. Y'all go ahead and read that. Y'all go ahead and read that. Jeff Spark, my brother, salute. Y'all go ahead and read that. Read it. Because I'm not gonna read that out loud. I'm just not. Just read it. All right, y'all done reading it? Okay. There you go. If getting chased by the U.S. Marshals is exciting, if that excites you, that's a sad state of affairs, because it scares me, because there are people with guns looking for a black athlete. And OJ pissed off the world when he got off. I just said OJ in 94 made the block hot for every black athlete. The block is hot. So everybody needed to mind their business and stay out the goddamn media. Stop doing dumb shit. Y'all remember an NBA player by the name of Isaiah Ryder? You remember him? Y'all know why he's not in the NBA anymore? Y'all know why he had his career taken from him? I ain't gonna tell y'all shit. Do your research. Isaiah Ryder, right? Isaiah Ryder, right? Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf, Greg Hodges. But y'all want and the OJ shit, but y'all want to come on here and argue with me. Y'all are not educated enough. Hey, Prez, if he's in his home, if he's in any of his homes chilling, why hasn't he turned himself in? Let me ask you a question, Prez. Is he considering his babies right now being on the run? Is he considering those two babies that he said he wants to be more softer and get therapy and shit? His words, not mine. Is he considering those babies? While not answering this warrant, is he considering his family right now? I ain't fussing with nobody. I'm just making a fact. Jermaine with the suplex salute. This is ridiculous. Yeah, all right, Prez. Okay, yeah, the female might be a money-hungry whore. But the law said we saw a substantial amount of evidence to execute an arrest warrant. You don't build your case on the run, young man. Answer the warrant and deal with this thing. How is he helping his family being on the run? That was my question. I don't care about that chick. We don't even know how she looks. And at this point, it's irrelevant. If you're innocent, you know what you're supposed to do? Jump up and say, nah. I ain't do nothing that's being alleged. I'm going to prove she's a liar, and then I'm going to sue her. I'm going to break the Devin Haney glass. He did that. Baby mama lied on him. He said, nope, bitch, you're lying. He lawyered up. Brian H., salute. And then he sued her. She ain't parading around on Instagram or anywhere. Brian H., salute to you. And Brian H., ain't you an attorney or something, brother? Yeah, talk to this brother right here. I think, Brian, you're an attorney or something, right? Something like that. That's the question. She was at work. This dude rolled up. Thank you, brother. Thank you. I told y'all to be all kinds of people in here. She was at work. He came to her place of work. She ain't go to his house and wild out. She was at work. Jesus Christ, young man. All right, let's do math. I got you. Okay. I got a little bit of patience this morning. Press. They issued, Brian, please correct me if I'm wrong. They issued a warrant for his arrest. They could not find him. When the local law cannot find you, they get the services of the U.S. Marshals. That was Friday. Today's Wednesday. How is he not on the run? Brian A. says, how is he not on the run when when it hasn't been days without a warrant? Thank you, man. Prez, what makes you think they didn't check all of his homes? Watch this. Prez, how many homes he has? You said all his homes, right? Meaning more than one. Is it more than one? Is it more than two? Is it three? How many homes he got? You don't think that the law did its job sufficiently enough to say We checked everywhere where he could have been. Now we got to dig a little deeper. We got to go to interview people that's close to him. We got to check texts. We got to check his bank routing. You know, has he used his bank card, his cell phone? Press says he has like 3 or 4 homes. That's not a number. Is it 3 or 4? But that's not what we're talking about here, young man. Why do you think they didn't check his homes? That's the first place they go. When you read the directions, when you get a new appliance in your house, a television, a new blender, when you read the directions, you know what they usually say? When it comes to troubleshooting, you know what they usually say? And it sounds so funny, I laugh every time I read it, but really, that's real shit. You know what they say? Make sure it's plugged in. Make sure the power is in the on position. To me, I'm like, well, that's obvious. But some motherfuckers will fly off the hinges and the shit don't be plugged in. Thank you, Brian H. What makes you think that they didn't do? That's the first thing that they do. How about this? Before the U.S. Marshals got involved, if he has several homes outside of the state of Florida, once they went to his home and couldn't find him in Florida, what makes you think they didn't call the authorities in the states where his property is and say, look, we got a warrant for this guy's arrest. Go to his homes and check to see if he's there. Because maybe he don't know. Maybe he's somewhere in Baltimore in a home and he didn't know it was that serious. And he says, I need some quiet time. No internet, no nothing. And Baltimore PD could have knocked on his door. Hey, man, you got a warrant in Florida. I do? I didn't know. I ain't been online in a week. All right, let's go. You mean to tell, and mind you, he has been online because he put out that stupid video wearing a John Morant jersey. Another thug. And did the shimmy, showing us that his knee is fine. So he has been online. Stop. What makes you think that the law's not doing their job? He's a young black millionaire. What makes you think they're not doing their job? All I ever said was this kid need to turn himself in before this shit get ugly. Because he's stealing the thunder. We have a great card coming up on the 31st, and this motherfucker is pulling an OJ. Brian H. says, here's the issue, Press. He is severely risking getting bail when he is caught because this makes him look like he is a flight risk if he is not remanded to jail while awaiting trial/sentencing. Prez, don't take my word for it. Brian H. is an attorney. Don't listen to me. My knowledge goes but so far. At one point, I locked them up, but when they're locked up, they talk to Brian H. Officer, attorney. That's all I'm saying. So listen to him. Don't listen to me. Listen to him. All right, Prez, let's do this. Andrew Toppin, salute. Let's do this. Prez, what do you want Tank to do? Because it sounds like you're playing special teams prevent with this dude. At this point, what do you want Tank to do? Oh, you don't talk to police? Cool. So answer the question, though. What do you want Tank to do? What do you want Tank to do? At this point, what do you want Tank to do? I've been there, Brian H. Good brother, I've been there. Prez says turn himself in or make a statement. It's not either or, brother. The time for him to have made a statement was when they put out that warrant. He was supposed to turn himself in there. He could have made bail and then make your statement, or turn yourself in and then don't accept the bail, and his lawyers could make a statement. But what happened with his lawyers? They asked him, hey, what's going on? They said no comment. Thank you, Brian. It's gone for statements. Prez, come on, brother. Come on, brother. You got to catch up now. The time for what would making a statement do if he's on the run right now? You have a problem with the lingo, but he's on the run. He hasn't spoken to you guys since he posted that stupid video. If he's not in custody, he's on the run. Don't get caught up in the lingo, Prez. Don't get caught up in the lingo. If he's not in custody, he's on the run. There's a warrant for his arrest since Friday. It's Wednesday, man. And at this point, man, I don't feel sorry for him. I feel sorry for those babies he made out of wedlock. But, you know, we ain't got to go there. Make a statement. Those are the options, brother. Come on now. Come on now. I don't know if he's out the country or not. Do I think he's out the country? I don't know. If he's out the country, you know that's another charge because that's a violation of his probation. You remember when he was supposed to be in camp for the Lamont Roach fight, but he had asked his probation officer, can I go to Japan for my birthday? And they were like, no, you're on probation. And he didn't go. And I said, wait a minute, October, why is he trying to go out of the country for vacation? He's supposed to be in camp to face Lamont Roach. And I said, something's not right with this fight. And that was when we knew the fight, we thought the fight was still being held in Houston. Y'all remember this? And he's been in shambles ever since. So if he's out the country, how does that help his probation? Is he not in violation? He's in violation right now. If he's out the country, you think that, okay, he's talking about checking their homes. His 3 or 4 homes. I don't know how many homes he has. But that's the first place they looked. They went up inside and looked in the basement, the attic, the hidden rooms, the panic rooms. He's not there. So now he's asking, is he out the country? He asked for permission to leave the country on his birthday. Judge said no. So if he's out the country now with an active warrant, do y'all have any idea how much time this idiot's, he's making it so bad for himself. This doesn't help him. The argument is going to be, when this kid gets caught eventually, the argument is going to be, is the LDBC happy now? I know they happy now. The focus is going to be on us, as if we did this. And I'm going to say, like I always said, I didn't do this. I see the discrepancy and I point and say, look at this shit. Am I mad am I at fault for pointing at a car accident? Like, oh, look at that. Why are you pointing over there? Look at it. It's crazy. You don't want to look at it? Turn away. Well, stop filming and talking about it. Go over there and help. Well, I did. I told Tank to get in the camp and fight his contemporaries. And instead of doing that, he goes to fight Jake Paul and says, I'm going to make my 40 and get out of here. And aha, the Lord giveth and taketh away. Lamont, Shakur, and these guys moved on. We left you to your Jake Paul payday. You couldn't get that right. Jake Paul was in the club that night, bruh. And once again, your reputation precedes you. Once again, you did it again. Congratulations. And instead of answering this warrant your fans are wondering if you're even in the country at this point. Whole time, we getting Teofimo Lopez versus Shakur, and this motherfucker's pulling an OJ in the Bronco right now. Stolen thunder. This kid is not bright, and his fans are worse. Now we're on here debating how much time he's going to get. I'm saying, yo, look, this is bad. He's looking at 4 years minimum. And the Glazers come into everyone's chat talking about, nah, he only going to get 6 months. What, based off what, bro? I might have bought that if he turned himself in immediately and been dealing with it. But when they said U.S. Marshals, I said, what? No, he gonna turn himself in. What? He gonna turn himself in this weekend. He'll turn himself out this week. Saturday, Sunday. They'll catch up to him. Monday. Monkey Tuesday. What's going on? It's Wednesday, bruh. Now Prez is asking me, do I think he's in the country? I don't know. Anthony, what up? Y'all better hope he's in the country. Because after they done checked the wire, do you know they more than likely froze his bank accounts? You know why they do that? Because he's a fugitive. Wait a minute. Let me make sure my lingo's correct. Fugitive. Definition. A person who has escaped from a place or is in hiding, especially to avoid arrest or persecution. Fugitive. Starring Tommy Lee Jones, Harrison Ford. I didn't kill my wife. I don't care. Because he had a job to do. Sequel. U.S. Marshals. That same character Tommy Lee Jones played, who's now chasing around Wesley Snipes. Y'all think this is a fucking movie. You know the story of Popeye and Olive Oil and Bluto in real life. One of them niggas is dead. The other one is in jail. And Olive Oil is fucking wimpy the next day. And the one that survives is sitting in jail talking about, well, blow me down. I should have left that skinny bitch alone. Right? That's real life. That's real life. I'm strong to the finish when my butt is finished. Baltimore's favorite man. This dude ain't getting months, man. I will be shocked. Yeah, yo, Big D, everything is messed up, bro. And meanwhile, we got this card on the 31st, and we're talking about stupid shit. The Charlos is fighting online. This nigga's on the run. The Vargas brothers are going nuts. But we're finally getting Teofimo Lopez versus Shakur. A fight that actually means something. And these niggas is in the way. this nigga Tank. The face of boxing, right? Brian A says, the first day or two, I assumed his attorneys were making a deal to turn himself in without incident, but no decent attorney would have taken this long to do that. So he is on, he is on the listen, Brian, I knew there was something strange when they went to his attorneys for comment and they said no comment. Let me ask you, brother Brian, at this point, if you're his attorney, if he does pop up, do you back off the case or do you take his money? Because it's a two-part question. Do you just take the bread just for the sake of taking it, Or do you protect how does it work? You gotta tell me how it works. Do you protect the integrity of your firm per se? You go in there, it's a losing battle. You just go in there and say, yo, we gotta cut some deals because you ain't gonna get off on this. There's no way around this. We can't go to trial and where we in litigation for X amount of years where it will tip in your favor. They got evidence. And by the way, y'all, the lawyers saw the evidence. Because there ain't no way. Because if they saw the evidence and say, nah, that's not what this is, they'd have said that. And Tank wouldn't have been on the run. So trust and believe the lawyers saw what the police saw. So for them to say, hey, man, your comments on Tank, and they say no comment, number one, they haven't spoken to him. And number two, the nigga guilty. Thank you, Brian. You beg him to walk into the police station with you that minute. They haven't even spoken to Tank. If he does not, you let him go. Thank you. I'm going to be shocked if those lawyers fuck with him. And yes, you could be so down bad that a lawyer would say, yo, look, I got to protect my firm's name and my craft. I gotta walk away from this. I can't fight with this. Look at that. This is an attorney talking, y'all. You see? Don't listen to me. Listen to him. It comes a point in time when you got to let it go. But then you got the Mag 7s in the world. That nigga literally got, I couldn't remember if it was my panel or BF's panel. He was talking about how a relative was on the run from the police and he hit the nigga in the house. Bro, I don't identify with none of that nigga nonsense. I promise you I don't. If your relative shows up at your door and you gets to talking and then they reveal, yo, I'm on the run. From what? Your girl? No, the law. Yeah. Whole time the nigga talking, I'm putting on my hat, my shirt, and getting dressed. Like, nigga, get up, man. Get up. I'm turning your ass in, dummy. Oh, Drew, that's fam. Oh, man, you the ops. You the ops. You the ops. Yeah, the difference between white folks' neighborhood is called neighborhood watch, but you dumb niggas call it snitching. Guess what? If your relative loves you, whatever the fuck they did, they keep it to themselves and won't come near you and your family. Why would you bring your dumb ass over here? You done brought the heat to my door? All right, let me dumb it down for you niggas. Let me dumb it down for you so you can understand. Some of you will identify with this. Some of you are former gang members. I'm not asking you to reveal. Some of you have relatives that are gang members. If your relative is a Nieta, a Latin King, a Blood, a Crip, a CKBK, whatever it is, and that nigga comes to your house when the pressure's on him, guess what? Now you're in it. They don't saw him run to your building. Now y'all related. And there's no honor anymore. You could be going to work. You could never gangbang in your life, but now they know y'all related. You could be walking to work, taking the baby to school, and then a bullet come fly and hit you or your baby. All because your fucking cousin want to run to your house. Why he in the mix of the heat? You won't talk to me about the ops. Y'all are the reason why the black community is so fucked up. And that's why I can't stand this little yellow nigga. Y'all didn't know yellow was a double meaning behind that? When I call him mellow yellow, mellow yellow was a drink, a soft drink. Soft drink. Y'all want to drink this dude's bath water. Yellow is the streak down his back. You know, we used to say back in the day, you have a yellow streak, meaning you're a coward. So he's not fighting his contemporaries, and y'all want to drink his bath water. That's why I call him mellow yellow. And he ain't tough. We're supposed to be hype talking about Shakur versus Tiafimo in that whole card. Shout out to Shushu. But this white Bronco mentality that this nigga has. The only thing y'all gonna be left with is talking about how we're celebrating the incarceration of another black man. I'm telling you that's coming. And I don't know how many times I said, I don't want no black man in jail. But at the same time, every nigga in prison is not Nelson Mandela. Some of these niggas need to be there. And Tank is one of them. He keeps doing this. Hey, Press, you know why I let you back on here and gave you your wrench? Because you seem to have seen the light. You said, oh, he beats women. I don't fuck with him. Okay. Was you just talking? Because now you're talking about he got 3 or 4 homes. He might be in one of the homes. What are you trying to insinuate? That the law ain't doing their job? Let me tell you something. Let me tell you what I know the Lord did without even knowing what they did out their mouth. They checked all of his properties. They checked his family. They checked his friends. They checked Coach Cal. They checked Coach Kenny. They went to the Rise podcast to look at people talking in code. I already said, all of these pro-tank channels, now they're being watched. Y'all may think it's not that serious. Yes, it is. They want to check for ghost accounts. Maybe Tank got a ghost account. How many YouTube accounts he has? How many Twitter accounts he has? And they locked up his bank. Whoever he banks with, they froze the money. He can't put his ATM in the fucking machine and take out a stack. And anybody around him, if they went into an ATM and took out an excessive amount of money, they're watching them. You think they don't know how to do this, brother? Prez, you talking about you don't believe he's on the run. What the fuck? It's 6 days now, young man. If he's not, thank you, Brian. If he's not on the run, what is he doing? When he's supposed to be in custody. If he's not in custody, he's on the run. Yeah, J Beam, he better be glad he's not in Texas. RoboCop, dead or alive, you coming with me. And that's what I don't want for him. To get out of bed and cut on my internet, Tank Davis gunned down, resisting arrest. Oh my God. What do you mean you don't know what he's doing? Prez, he's not in custody and they can't find him. So whether he's sitting down in another country drinking some wine or hiding in the attic at someone's crib, we know he's not in custody. That translates, and he knows they're looking for him. He knows this. He knows this. It's been on the news. It's in the newspaper. And here's what I say he's being selfish. Not only to his baby girls, but everyone around him that's close to him, all of them has been compromised. Y'all know that? Y'all know everybody around him has been compromised, right? Right now, Kenny, his line is tapped. His cell phone, his landline, if he has one. When he gets in the car and drives around just to go about his business, they're watching him. The people closest to him. Everyone's compromised because of this little nigga. You just trying to go see your side piece and you're like, why does black car behind me? Is Tank a friend of yours for doing that? And I'm telling you, there's YouTube channels that are compromised. I asked y'all yesterday, when was the last time the Rise podcast been online? A major reason why they're not online right now is because of Tank. He's not doing anything that they want to talk about. They were worried about the Jake Paul fight. Y'all saw the press conference. That didn't happen. He got caught up with this bullshit. He caught himself up with this web of bullshit. Now what we got? Bullshit. He's on the run, young man. That's what it's translated. There's a legal term, Prez, and Brian H., you can correct me, please. It's called fruit from the poisonous tree. It doesn't literally mean fruit from a poisonous tree. It's a term. Prez, don't get caught up in the term. Here's what we know. There's a warrant for his arrest. Miami PD couldn't find him, so they called in the marshals to help them do their job. It's called being on the run. Thank you, Brian. Thank you. Thank you so much. He hasn't posted online. He hasn't been seen out socially anywhere. He has a normal routine. No one's seen him. When you evade authorities, you are on the run. Yeah, Rich is gonna die. Because as I said, when he tries to talk boxing, nobody cares. And that's why I need Tank to go away. Because when he leaves, his fans, Eric Jordan, salute, his fans will go with him. When he leaves, his fans will go with him. And y'all need to go away. Like I wanted Pac-Tard to go away. I wanted American AJ and Fury fans to go away. I needed Flomos to go away. Go away. Go away. I need him to go away and take your fan. That's why I said, you know what? They want this Jake Paul thing. Fine, let him get his money and let him retire. Because he said he was leaving in 2025. He said, me and Al Heyman are leaving in 2025. Fine. Go away, man. So I can get back to boxing. Now I'm talking about this motherfucker being, literally the U.S. Marshals are chasing this guy. Literally. And the argument's going to be when he's caught, hopefully brought in alive. The argument's not going to be what he did. It's going to be me allegedly celebrating. That's what it's going to be. As if I did this. I didn't do this. Press. What you got to understand, is, do you understand why people come for you in the chat? Do you understand what happens here? Do you understand why this happens? Do you understand why this happens? You come in here very contrary, all right? And my thing is this. I'm not lying on this kid. I'm pointing out everything he did wrong. And you got on here and said you don't fuck with Tank with the woman beating shit. I respect that. But when you start talking about what you think the law didn't do, I'm telling you that they did do it. You're resisted from it. There's literally an attorney in my chat right now telling you what it is, and you're still resistant to it. That's what irritates people. Because it appears that you're not listening. Sometimes you got to stop looking to win an argument and just deal with the facts. You got to deal with the facts, brother. You absolutely have to deal with the facts. I just told you, do not get caught up in the lingo. On the run means you're evading authorities. Fruit from the poisonous tree. That's a legal term, believe it or not. In telling an attorney not to do something, I forgot what it was. Don't get caught up in the lingo. When I studied briefly accounting in college, there was something called the T accounts. Debit and credit. Debit and credit. Debit and credit. You know what that meant? It was just a fancy word for left and right. That's it. And you don't even use the T accounts in real life. If y'all know, y'all know. If y'all know, y'all know. But I'm like, well, how could this be a debit? How could this be a credit? No. And the professor was like, no. Don't get caught up in what it really means. And he wrote down on the board. He said, and I forget which one. I think debit was left and credit was right. For those of you that know accounting, y'all know what I'm talking about. But I said, oh shit. And I was stuck on stupid for an hour. He said, look, it's just a fancy term for left and right. I said, oh my God, for an hour I've been confused. Yes. Prez, don't get caught in the lingo. This dude is on the run. He's not in his house chilling. U.S. Marshals have statewide jurisdiction. I mean, nationwide. So the U.S. Marshals in Florida, if he has a house in Kentucky, they're going to make a phone call to law enforcement, and the U.S. Marshals close over there, they say, yo, go to that nigga house and see if he's there. That's all. Oh, he ain't there. Okay, go to the other house in Baltimore. He ain't there. Oh, go to the one in Nova Scotia. He ain't there. Go to the one in Texas. He ain't there. We can't find him. It's 6 days later. He's on the run. And the young man just asked me, you think he's in another country? He better not be. And in the same breath, these cats say, he's only going to get 6 months. Nah, brother. He's already on probation, man. This is not good. And this is what I'm saying. His fans really don't mean him well. And he don't care because he cussed y'all out anyway. Eric Jordan in that super chat, he said Tank Action did this. Thank Miguel Jerome and the Machine.
¡Ay, Miguel! ¡Miguel!
It's ridiculous, man. Jay Bean in that super chat, salute, brother. He says marshals can put a bounty on you. The public can collect. Good old 1835 bounty like the cowboy days. Yep. I'm telling you, I don't think the fanatics understand how dangerous this is. This is dangerous. I don't want to see this kid killed. That's why I want to turn him, bro. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. They're looking for a reason to plug this kid, man. They're looking for a reason. Shout out to OJ. He pissed off the white judicial system eternally. He pissed them off eternally. The Dream Team, Johnny Cochran. I was seeing people talking about, yay, he's dead. I'm like, damn, y'all still mad? Y'all know Kim Kardashian's pops was part of that team? Did y'all know that? Y'all youngsters. Did y'all know that? Her pops was a part of that team, the Dream Team? And they're saying those women, the Kardashians, that's his curse. The train wreck that they are. Because of the OJ thing. And OJ made the block hot for every black athlete moving forward. Delano, you know what? He says Tank might be trying to hide his assets. You know what? He ain't smart enough to do that shit. Because you know why? He can't do it by himself. This ain't the movies where some millionaire tycoon who is business savvy knows that the law's coming from him. So he starts putting shit in, Swiss accounts and stuff like that. Brian A. says fruit from the poisonous tree has to do with evidence potentially be excluded because it came from an illegal source. Bad warrant, illegal. Thank you, brother. I knew it was something like that. You know what I know about too, brother? In law enforcement, we had to learn about the Aguilar, I'm saying it wrong. Aguilar-Spinelli test, the two-prong test. I remember some shit. One test the information coming from a source, a snitch. And then the other test how it tests him, it tests the person, and then it tests the information that comes from that person. Are they reliable? Has their information led to an arrest? Are they full of shit? That's as far as my shit goes, from what I remember. Brian says if the marshals are involved, it is extremely likely his known accounts are frozen. That I figured that, brother. I figured that. So he can't move. And you know what else? Am I right on this? Everyone around him, they're checking their bank account movements because now they got warrants for that. We need to look at this. Who's he talking to? Cal, Kenny, Fanon, KO, KQKC. They talk this guy up a lot. They defend everything he does, foreign and domestic. They refer to the people that talk about this kid as enemies. So for all we know, he might have finally confided in him. Yeah, man, follow that guy. Let's see where his money's going. Where are those super chats coming from? Who are these people in the chat? Y'all think I'm overdoing it? No. As long as he's on a run, they're gonna do shit like that because the internet has made it easy for these dudes. Yeah, these guys are getting cash apps, but where they're sending cash apps to. They're tracking all of that shit. You know, in the movies, like you see in the movies, the motherfuckers that be in the van on the nerdy niggas in the van with the computers and the glasses on, just tapping away on shit. You're being watched. To know this guy is to be on the radar now. Delano says, but he has liquidated cash where he can move around. No, bro. What are you talking about? So you're saying that before all of this happened, he made a huge withdrawal from a bank so that he can, okay, so you know what you just admitted? That he's purposely running. If he knew that this was going to happen and he made a large withdrawal from an account, which you can't do, we don't know how much he did, if he did that. But I don't care who you are. If you go in there, everything has a cap. Hey, I'm Tank Davis, and I got $3 million in this account. I need $1 million in cash. They can't just say, okay, Mr. Davis, sign here, we'll give it. No. They got to make some phone calls. They got to call their bank president. You need to ask them what you're doing that for. You know why? Because they want to make sure that you're not trying to do something illegal, like, I don't know, not answer a fucking warrant. The bank needs to know that they're not going to be an accessory to your fabulous fuck up. So they may say, hey, Tank, all right, we're going to process this. Come back in 3 days. He didn't know the U.S. Marshals was going to come looking for his ass. That shit happened fast. He's not smart enough for that. I'm telling you, he's a fucking idiot. Because I'm seeing what he's doing right now. He's an idiot. Right now, he's not in custody. This makes him an idiot. He's an idiot. Whole time, we should be talking about who wins between T.O. and Shakur. And here this motherfucker driving the virtual white Bronco. Brian H. says he 100% does not get bail when they catch him if they find he withdrew a large sum of money, then disappeared and hid from the law. Your speculation, Delano, you better hope that's not the case. Because as I said, and I know this for a fact, the bank is not, even if it's your money and you bank with them for 30 years, they're not going to release a certain amount of money to you because it's going to raise suspicion. Now, how would that bank feel? Not feel, what would they be subjected to if he said, I need $1 million in cash? All right, Mr. Davis, come back tomorrow. And he signs all this paperwork and they give it to him in a suitcase. And he handcuffs it to his wrist or his knapsack, his JanSport, gets in the Escalade and peels out. And then 3 days later, here come the U.S. Marshals. He came in here and asked for $1 million in cash. Yeah. Well, there's a warrant for his arrest for battery and kidnapping. You gave it to him? There's something that goes out, and I forgot what it is. when someone withdraws a lot of money out of the bank, I forgot what it's called, but it's like pretty much not an alarm. I don't want to say an alarm, but it's like a notification. This person came into the bank and withdrew X amount of money out of his account. And it's just to let the law know if something else pops off where he's involved in something illegal, he's trying to leave the country, just know that he came here and it was within the guidelines of the law. It took us 3 days, but he withdrew the money from the account. And they add that to the case. So when they catch up to him and he's sitting in court, well, if you didn't do it, why'd you try to leave the country? If you didn't do it, why on such and such a date you withdrew $2 million out your account in cash? Why'd you do that? And that adds to the case. You see how that works? But I don't know what I'm talking about. He says, not if he had it with him all along. Yeah, I hear that, brother. I hear that. But again, is this your emergency? And I'm glad you said that. Everyone should have cash in the house, just in case you got to move around, in case of an emergency. For example, when 9/11 happened in New York, we have a credit union out here, municipal credit union. A lot of city and state employees bank with them. When 9/11 happened, we had no access to our money. People had hundreds of thousands of dollars in the bank and didn't have access to it, and rent was due. And landlords everywhere was like, yo, look, we understand the buildings fell, but I got to make this property run. I need your money. If you don't, there's going to be a problem. People were in MCU cussing and screaming. I was okay. You know why? I kept money in the house. I said, look, my money's there. It's not going to disappear. But I did learn a valuable lesson, though. MCU out here is best to bank with. You could take out a personal loan because it's a credit union. It's not a bank. It's a credit union. And they have very low rates and they work with civil servants. So that's great. But I said, you know what? Chase Bank was moving and a couple of other banks. I said, I got to diversify, man. I got to, just in case if I didn't have that money in the house. And eventually people got cut breaks because they knew that, for a while, for like 2 weeks after 9/11, people were mad. Cell phones was getting cut off. Their cable was getting cut off. I got money, but it's in the bank and I can't get to it. I had money in I always, let's just say, you know what y'all need to do? Just a bit of advice. Always keep, if you can afford, at least 3 months worth of your bills in liquid in your home. In a cast iron safe, fingerprint lock, or a padlock. Just in case you got to move around. Keep an emergency bag with a bag of water, first aid kit, a doomsday bag, a firearm. You need that. And that's another thing, Brian H. I'm glad you said that. I don't think he's out the country because A, his probation prohibits him from leaving the country. And even if he couldn't leave, his passport is on lock. And he didn't leave before these charges dropped. So you can't drive to Cuba, although you're in Miami. You could throw a rock and hit Cuba from the beach. Well, not really, but you know what I'm saying. If there was a body of land that connected Cuba and Florida, you'd be able to ride a bike over there. It's really not far. It's really not far. He's not in Canada. He's somewhere here, and I just hope he don't take his life, his own life, and I hope that he doesn't get his life taken from him. And hear what I'm saying, because right now it's like, fuck him. I had to let him go as a brother. Had to let him go because of his behavior. And then secondary, how he moved in his career. I don't appreciate him as a fighter. He's not moving correctly. So it's not entertaining fighting a bunch of people I know you're going to beat. Fight the guys where I can say, I don't know. He's going to have to think his way out of this one. When the Jake Paul thing fell through, he says, yeah, I'm coming back and I'm going to fight Isaac Cruz. I said, you beat him with one fucking hand, brother. Why you doing that? Fight the guy that, oh, okay, man. Then don't let his fans tell it. Dumbass Victor, 75 years on this planet. I said, man, why not fight? Y'all told us to leave him alone when he chose to break bread with his DMV brother and Lamont Roach, pulling him up from 130, by the way. The rematch will do numbers. He says there's more money in him fighting a Mexican. So great way to undermine the black dollar. That makes perfect sense. Undermine the black dollar, but then ask me, am I black? You see how that works? You asking me, am I black? And why am I hating on a black man getting money? Okay, well, break bread with the black man that fought you to a draw. But you want to go fight Isaac Cruz and then laugh at your black brothers. Lamont Roach, I giveth and I taketh away. Shakur, I don't care how Puerto Rican he thinks he is. He's black. And then when everybody moves on, Devin moved on, Shakur's moving on, T.O.'s moved on after calling you a monkey. Even Ryan's getting a fucking title shot, his racist ass. And you on the run from the U.S. Marshals. You see how this is ending for him? He's going to be on 30 for 30 faster than you think. ESPN 30 for 30. Tragedy, what could have been. Enoch, my brother, in that super chat. It says Nicole owed drug debts because OJ stopped paying the dealers. Hitman offered her and Ron, one of her dealers, and others who worked in the restaurant. I heard about that. Look, OJ ain't do that shit. She got herself killed, and they thought he was going to take an L for it. Hey, he blamed the nigga. And it didn't work out that way. But, I don't know what I'm talking about. But you see, we done talked about Tank and all this other dumb shit. We should be talking about the 31st. And it's day number 6, and he's still on the run. So for more Tank news, General's on. I'm past my time. I got to bust this move. Man, I appreciate y'all. Salute to everybody in the Venmo, the Zelle, the Cash App, the Super Chat. Thank you, Brian H., for your professional opinions, because I know some things, but I don't know. Hey, breaking news. They caught up the Tank.
Can I ask you what's going on? 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 Can I ask you what's going on?
It's gonna be the witness talking about Tank on the stand.
Nigger.
What's that, sir?
Nigger.
Yeah. You're gonna find out soon enough, man. It's comical at this point. Turn your dumb ass in. This is ridiculous. General's on. Let's head over there. Bronx on deck.
Move! Why are you gay?
Who says I'm gay?
You are gay.